The Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II isn't just another fighter jet, it's a leap in military technology. Designed for stealth, multi-role combat, and advanced intelligence gathering, it's a flying supercomputer that can share real-time data with allied forces. For Canada, with its vast territory and aging CF-18 fleet, the F-35 promises a crucial upgrade in defending sovereignty and fulfilling international commitments. The jet is the centerpiece of a global partnership, with 9 nations, including Canada, sharing development costs and technology. This integration means seamless training and logistics among allies, but also deep reliance on the US, which controls much of the F-35's sensitive tech. While this fosters military unity, it also raises concerns about national autonomy and political friction if interests diverge. The F-35 is more than hardware. It's a symbol of alliance, dependence, and the complex politics of modern defense. As Canada weighs its options, the stakes go far beyond the cockpit. In June 2023, Canada signed a $13.2 billion deal with Lockheed Martin for 88 F-35s, one of its largest military procurements ever. The choice followed years of debate and was driven by the need for interoperability with US and NATO forces, ensuring Canada could operate seamlessly in joint missions. The deal also promised billions in contracts for Canadian industry, supporting thousands of high-tech jobs and securing a place in the F-35's global supply chain. Politically, the decision was meant to end a decade of uncertainty and reaffirm Canada's commitment to its allies. The first jets were ordered, payments began, and it seemed Canada was finally all in. But new economic pressures and shifting politics soon cast doubt, threatening to unravel the agreement. The F-35 deal, once a symbol of certainty, became a lightning rod for controversy. When Canada began reconsidering the F-35 deal in 2025, the US responded with a clear warning. Canceling or altering the purchase would have serious consequences. US Ambassador Pete Hoekstra linked the deal directly to NORAD's future, arguing that interoperability is essential for continental defense. Washington warned that choosing a different jet could undermine Canada's role in NORAD and strain the alliance. The threat wasn't just military. Trade negotiations and economic ties were also at stake. The Trump administration had shown it would use tariffs and economic pressure to get its way. For the US, the F-35 is a test of loyalty and partnership, not just a business deal. Backing out could trigger a fundamental realignment in US-Canada relations. The message was unmistakable. The F-35 is about trust, not just technology. Canada's doubts about the F-35 stem from spiraling costs, performance delays, and concerns over sovereignty. The $13.2 billion price tag is just the start. Lifetime maintenance could cost many times more, straining budgets already under pressure from domestic needs. Reports of delays and overruns, especially with the Block 4 upgrade Canada is set to receive, have fueled skepticism about the jet's readiness. The F-35's software and logistics are tightly controlled by the US, meaning Canada would need American approval for major updates and repairs. This dependence has led some Canadian leaders to question whether the country is sacrificing too much autonomy. Alternatives, like a mixed fleet with the Swedish Gripen for domestic missions, are being considered for greater flexibility and independence. The Gripen is cheaper, easier to maintain, and better suited for Canada's harsh north. But Washington has strongly opposed this idea, seeing it as a threat to alliance unity. Canada faces a tough choice: operational flexibility and sovereignty, or alliance cohesion and US approval. The debate is as much about national identity as it is about air power. The Trump administration's America First policies have strained US-Canada relations, turning the F-35 deal into a symbol of broader tensions. New tariffs on Canadian goods and demands for higher NATO spending have hit Canada's economy and fueled resentment in Ottawa. Defense Minister Bill Blair cited these pressures as reasons to reconsider the F-35, questioning the wisdom of buying American jets while facing economic penalties. The US has shown it's willing to use trade as leverage in defense matters, raising fears that future disputes could see Canada's F-35 fleet held hostage. For many Canadians, the deal now looks less like a partnership and more like dependence on an unpredictable ally. Prime Minister Mark Carney's government is caught between standing up to US pressure and avoiding a rupture with its closest partner. The F-35 decision is no longer just about military needs, it's a high-stakes gamble in a volatile relationship. Every option carries risk, and the Trump factor has made compromise elusive. The procurement has become a test of sovereignty in a new era of transactional politics. Inside Ottawa, the F-35 debate has exposed a rift between military pragmatism and political calculation. The Canadian Armed Forces strongly back the full F-35 purchase, citing the need for interoperability with the US and streamlined logistics. Generals warned that a mixed fleet would complicate training, maintenance, and mission planning, making the Air Force less effective and more costly. But the final call rests with Prime Minister Carney and his cabinet, who must weigh military advice against economic, political, and public concerns. A government review was ordered to assess the deal's broader implications, including sovereignty and relations with the Trump administration. The leadership faces a delicate balance: support the military and risk appearing to cave to US pressure, or assert independence and risk weakening the armed forces. The review gives political cover for a decision that may diverge from military recommendations. Ultimately, the F-35 debate is about more than jets. It's about who gets to define Canada's national interest. Canada isn't alone in its F-35 dilemma. US allies worldwide are rethinking American arms deals amid rising tariffs and political pressure. Spain canceled its F-35 order, opting for European alternatives after facing US tariffs and defense spending demands. Switzerland is reviewing its purchase after being hit with steep tariffs, questioning the value of buying American jets while being penalized economically. In Asia, India paused US arms buys after tariffs doubled on its exports. These moves reflect a broader erosion of trust in US leadership, and a shift toward greater defense independence. The F-35 program, once a symbol of Allied cooperation, now highlights growing discontent with American dominance. If major buyers like Canada, Spain, and Switzerland walk away, the jet's cost will rise for everyone, threatening the program's viability. US defense officials worry that protectionism is undermining the global arms market and America's influence. The ripple effects could reshape the defense industry and alliances for years to come. Canada's decision is part of a global reckoning with the costs of dependence. The world is watching to see who blinks first. The F-35 dispute is about more than jets. It's a test of the US-Canada alliance and the future of NORAD. The US warns that canceling the deal could undermine joint defense, disrupt intelligence sharing, and trigger economic retaliation. For Canada, proceeding under pressure risks setting a precedent of US coercion, fueling resentment, and damaging long-term trust. The world's longest undefended border could become a line of friction, eroding decades of integration. Both countries face hard questions. Can Canada defend its sovereignty without jeopardizing security? Can the US lead through partnership, not threats? The F-35 decision will signal the future of Western alliances in an uncertain world. For Canada, it's a choice between autonomy and alliance. For the US, it's a test of leadership versus leverage. The outcome will echo far beyond the skies.